Milo, get here. Get here. Get here. There he goes. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Where to next? Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's your first time watching the channel, welcome. Returning viewers, hopefully you get some information out of this one as well. I want to talk about the recent Forbes Magazine article listing Belize as one of the best places to retire in 2024. I do have to say, living here for a couple years, I actually have to agree with that. To me, and of course I'm not at retirement age, I'm just getting ready to turn 50. I got a lot of things that I still want to do before I even think about retiring, but I grew up in Florida, the Sunshine State, which, you know, is the retirement state of the United States. So I've been around a lot of retirees, grew up around it. So, you know, maybe my outlook or my experience from being here will help you out. So I do agree with the Forbes article that Belize is one of the best places to retire in 2024. However, I wasn't too thrilled, and I didn't agree with the places that they mentioned to retire, because they only mentioned 3 out of the whole country. They mentioned Placencia, they mentioned Caye Caulker, and Ambrose Caye, which is essentially San Pedro. That is the 3 places that they mentioned of why Belize is the best place to retire in 2024. You know, not everybody that's going to retire may like the water or that type of environment. So I really think that the Forbes article did a disservice about not mentioning so many other places that are qualified to be mentioned on that list besides the 3 that were mentioned. You know, after living here, just to kind of give you a breakdown, really the only place I can reference is Florida, sorry. And I'm going to try to break down the 3 that they mentioned and give you a reference to kind of what they are through my experience, what I've seen since I've been here. So Placencia is kind of like the villages just north of just north of Orlando, except for the nightlife. Placencia really doesn't have a nightlife. They're not known for a nightlife. Anybody who's been to Placencia will tell you, you know, Placencia is just a place to go where most of the resorts and the laid-back atmosphere is. But as far as nightlife, if you're retiring, you're not going to get that in Placencia. You're going to get, you know, the pickleball courts, the shuffleboard, the, you know, pool tables, the random bars like you have in Florida, you know, that of course are all over. There's so many of them. It's really the same thing in Placencia. Caye Caulker, if you've ever been to the Keys, Caye Caulker is kind of like Islamorada. Caye Caulker has really that island vibe. And of course, Caye Caulker is the island vibe. It's, you know, laid back. It's not much of a party scene, but most people during the day there are, you know, they're doing stuff. They're, you know, taking people out on the fishing boat. You know, they have a lot of decent home-style restaurants there, bars. A lot of families are there. The environment is, like I said, it's kind of like Islamorada. You're in a tropical environment, but it's kind of laid back. It's not as intense as the next one, which is going to be San Pedro, Ambrose Caye. I've only been there once, man, but San Pedro, Ambrose Caye, to me, is like Key West. It's non-stop. It is the party place. It is fast-paced. There's people coming and going, 100 miles an hour. The golf carts are coming and going. So if you're going to retire there, you need to be willing to put up with the fast pace, live in the fast pace, have people constantly coming by your house, your property in a fast pace, the nightlife, everything else. So in my opinion, that's the 3 that they broke down compared to where you would be in the Keys. It's, you know, each place isn't that far away from each other, but each place has its own vibe. Now, what I think they missed is inland areas, such as, you know, on the outskirts of Belmont, San Ignacio, Santa Elena, Hopkins. You got Tea Kettle, Frank and Eddie's. You got Corazal. You got so many places that are inland, that are off the coast, that have a real nice retirement expat vibe, where it's more of the, okay, these people are out here to live. They're going to work every day. People are a little bit more friendlier. On the outskirts inland, this is where people live, and you're going to find a much different environment, which might be more fitted to what you're looking for as actually retiring in Belize. So for instance, where we live, we're about an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes inland from Belize City. But what we like about where we're at, we're in the rainforest. Like you can see right now, I'm on the river. It just started to rain, which I love, but this is just an average Sunday coming out here, bringing the animals. Figured I'd do this video. This is what I love about inland rural Belize. But within an hour and 15 minutes, I can be in Belize City on a boat heading to either Caye Caulker, Amber's Cay, or I can even get to Placencia, all within an hour, hour and a half. So all these places that they mentioned, I can get to within an hour, hour and a half, have some fun, enjoy my day, but get away from it. So if you're thinking about retiring to Belize, my advice, once again, as I always say, would be come to Belize and visit, but don't necessarily go off of what was in this article of the best places to retire in Belize. Because if I was at retirement age, if I was getting ready to retire, I would absolutely not retire at any one of these 3 spots that they just mentioned. And I'm not saying that it's because they're not good. Like I said, I grew up in an area that was like that. Florida, to me, it's the same thing. I came here for something different. So there's great diversity that's in Belize, like I said, that this article just missed. And it's a shame. And I wanted to get this information out there because I know somebody's reading this article and they're looking it up and they're thinking, wow, Forbes just mentioned it. These are the best places to go. I need to go there. I'm telling you right now, from somebody who's already lived here several years, who grew up in a tourist area, if you're looking for the slow part of retirement, a different part of retirement, you're going to want to go inland. And everything that they mentioned in the article is going to be within an hour distance driving to you. So think about that before you retire in Belize. Once again, like I always say, come to Belize, visit, spend a week, spend 2 weeks, spend 3 weeks. Drive around the entire country. Talk to the locals, talk to the expats. You will find your area. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, people that come to Belize, they never end up where they started. So I don't want you to get misinformation that those 3 places are absolutely the best places to retire. They're not. Belize has so many great places to retire and spend the rest of your life. Especially if you're like me and you're not sitting on a gold mine and money is an issue to you, look inland. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, guys, just want to go over a couple more things that I really didn't include in that video. One of them is going to be the cost of living in the 3 areas that Forbes mentioned. The cost of living in Placencia, Amber's Cay, Caye Caulker is going to be anywhere from 2, 3, sometimes 4 times more expensive than it would be on the mainland. So, you know, that's something that you're going to have to keep in mind, is exactly what your budget is as far as retirement, because they really didn't go over anything about that in the article. Inland, things are extremely less expensive than they are out on the islands or even Placencia. It's a lot less expensive when you're inland, and that's from everything: food, housing, shopping. All of that is less expensive. And one of the main reasons why is, you know, especially with Amber's Cay, I mean, everything has to be brought out there. Same thing with Caye Caulker. Everything has to be brought out there. Placencia is one of the bigger tourist traps, so of course everything costs a little bit more money than it would inland, and that would be right off of the main highway as well. So budget is going to be a big factor of where you will actually end up in Belize. That's why I want to tell you, there's so many places inland that weren't mentioned that you can actually retire to and have a decent retirement, be sociable, and not break the bank, not spend a lot of money doing it. You know, you got just so many places. There's actually too many places inland for me to even start mentioning all of them. And I've been to most all of them. And, you know, like I said, it just depends on your lifestyle. A lot of people get tired of the beach scene. A lot of people get tired of the bar scene. A lot of people get tired of the no-see-ums out by the coast. There's just things that a lot of people get tired of that you really wouldn't see until you actually live here. And that's why I keep saying over and over and over again, and I know it's like, you know, kicking a dead dog, but I'm extremely serious when I say you need to actually spend some time here before you decide where you're going to be, because if you visit somewhere for a day or two, it's not going to be the same place if you stay there for a while. That's why I always say visit everywhere and get around and really talk to people, because the more friends you make in Belize, the more contacts you make in Belize, people will really start to help you out. And that's the other thing. If you're, you know, in Belize and you're traveling around for a while and you start to make friends and you start to get introduced to a lot of locals, you're going to be let into situations that normally wouldn't happen for you if you were just here looking for a place to buy or rent because you were going to retire. So that is another thing, is the contacts that you make in Belize are going to open doors for you if you spend some time here that normally wouldn't if you're just visiting. And that's pretty much what happened in me and my wife's case, is that we stumbled across this property by meeting people here in Belize. So like I said, that's why I always say that you just need to really come and spend a lot of time here. Belize is a beautiful country. There's a lot of people coming here. There's a lot of people retiring here, but a lot of people are constantly moving around. They're constantly moving around. They started here and they end up here. And then somebody started here and they end up here. You will find your spot, but you don't want to come here and pull the trigger too fast and end up in a place that you really don't want to be, spending way too much money than you really should be. So my advice is look at everywhere, not just the 3 places that were mentioned in this ad. I'm going to leave the description, I'm going to leave the link to the Forbes article in the description, so it'll be in there. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Stay blessed. Be careful out there. Enjoy life.